Today on the Frontline Health podcast.
Vitamin C seems to allow not just theaflavins, but a lot of other ingredients as well, like quercetin and luteolin. It allows those substances to be absorbed better, and it seems to have a strong synergistic effect with a ton of different things. So vitamin C is great to take with just about anything, but in this case specifically theaflavins, because it helps with the absorption and it helps just kind of compound those effects. And I think some of the best ways to describe it are it's kind of like a bus and a passenger. So the vitamin C and those vitamins oftentimes need some mechanism to get inside the cells or get transported to where they're going. And these polyphenols can oftentimes act like that bus. You get vitamin C on board, and having them work together allows it to get to where we need to go within the body.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Frontline Health podcast by Centurion. We're here to share health news, tips, and insights with you so that you can take ownership of your health and your life. My name is Evan Patrick, and with me is our founder and CEO here at Centurion Health, Troy Duell.
Hey Evan, how are you today?
Doing well. Excited to talk today about theaflavins. Today we're embarking on an adventure through the world of a powerful antioxidant known as theaflavins. Found in black tea, theaflavins offer a range of health benefits, from heart health to brain function. In this episode, we'll explore how theaflavins can help improve your overall well-being and why they should be a key addition to your health regimen. So Troy, to get us started, what exactly are theaflavins?
That is a great question, and it seems to have been around for years. So China was the first to kind of find out about theaflavins, and they used it as a medicinal elixir. So it really came from the benefit of black tea. And the legend has it that there was an emperor of China who years ago was sitting out with a cup and some leaves blew into his cup, and he continued to drink it, and he had increased energy and increased cognitive abilities and everything else, and the rest was kind of history.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to take credit for that, but I would hope that I would come up with a more creative way than the leaves just blew in my tea or my hot water, and I continued to drink it.
Yeah, because most of us would probably go, oh my gosh, there's a leaf in my tea. I'm going to pull it out. But this guy decided, no, I'm going to go ahead and drink it. And thankfully he did, because now we've got theaflavins as something that we can use for our health. And it's been known to really help people in their health for years. But what we do know is that it is a group of polyphenols. So it's found in black tea. It's also found in green tea. And they're formed when the catechins, which are found in the green tea, get oxidized during the fermentation of those black tea leaves. And we've mentioned that before, but the catechins are really like super antioxidants that go in and just help our bodies really perform better and get a little bit healthier.
Now, there are different types of theaflavins that we're aware of, right? Could you kind of explain what they are and just the differences between them? Yeah,
so there are, 4 or 5 different types that are out there. So you've got theaflavin 3 gallate, theaflavin 3 with an apostrophe gallate, and theaflavin 3, 3 apostrophe digallate, for those who don't see that on our screen.
So what does all that mean?
Well, all that means is they're just different chemical makeups of each of those theaflavins, and it has more to do with the plants that they come from and how long that each of those may be pasteurized or cooked in order to bring out the theaflavin that's in that particular leaf.
Okay, wow. So we've touched on this a little bit, introduced it, but what are the specific health benefits of theaflavins?
There are actually quite a few. As the Chinese emperor found, it did increase his energy levels, and we know that theaflavins do that. We also know that those theaflavins in certain studies, especially if you're somebody who works out, it's got incredible benefits from that standpoint. It keeps you from having that muscle soreness after you work out hard, It allows you to increase the amount that you're doing from a workout level. But beyond that, we know, as we've already talked about, it's got incredible antioxidant properties. So it's going to help our bodies just continue to fight and prevent against diseases like cancer or any cardiovascular disease and diabetes. It also helps with our heart health and cholesterol management. It helps with our weight management and fat metabolism, which is huge. I think all of us look for ways and hacks, if you will, to try to limit our weight and try to maintain our weight and keep a healthy weight. So they found that this actually helps burn some of that fat, and we know that it's going to be good for our cognitive health, which we've talked about previously as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a common misconception when we start talking about a supplement like Theaflavins that was used in ancient medicine and was used just through consuming through tea, and it's something that was used again in ancient medicine. People don't realize when we start talking about the health benefits of it, these have been now proven through clinical trials and studies according to Western modern medicine.
Yes, and it's not just random trials, but they are randomized placebo-controlled trials. So they're actually doing the lab work on them. They're testing each of these individuals to make sure that what they say is happening is actually happening. So I think that's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, all of these benefits that you just mentioned, we see tons of studies that have proven these benefits. Mm-hmm. You see in Molecules 2020, the antioxidant activity of theaflavins and their role in disease prevention. These antioxidant benefits have been discovered. From the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry in 2018, the effects of theaflavins on lipid metabolism and cardiovascular health. From the Journal of Functional Foods in 2019, theaflavins and their role in weight management. So I just think it's important for people to know when we start talking about these things that have been used in ancient medicine.
Very true.
We can test them now according to the modern scientific method to see the benefits that they have. And a lot of times people just aren't aware of this, and they think that when we talk about supplements that they're all, and there certainly are some, but that they're all just a fad or something that people, just a placebo effect, people aren't really getting any real benefit from them.
Well, and I think it's also important to note that most pharmaceuticals, or a lot of pharmaceuticals, come from these ancient medicines themselves, and they see that, hey, this worked back then, let's see what we can do, and then they just add some science or molecule to it to make it easier to make.
Yeah, that's really funny that you say that. I hadn't thought about it quite in that way, but it's like the very same thing that big pharma and kind of some of our big medical institutions like to accuse supplements of doing. They kind of do the same things themselves.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
It's very interesting. So how can someone incorporate theaflavins into their diet to reap all of these benefits?
Well, we could be a lot like the Emperor of China and sit outside with a glass of hot water and let those leaves fall in. Or we can go get those tea bags and just throw in some tea in there and drink some black tea. We also know that there are supplements out there, so there are actual individual theaflavin supplements, which are great because they have a lot less. You have to be careful because some of those theaflavin supplements can still have a little bit of caffeine, but most of them have very, very little to no caffeine at all versus the other drinking black tea issues. And then there are foods that contain those theaflavins as well. So you can take those in and look at that and get them that way.
Yeah. So we have a theaflavin supplement here at Centurion Health. For somebody who's considering, like maybe they already drink tea or maybe they don't like to drink tea, but they want to get the benefits of theaflavins, what are kind of the pros and cons of taking a theaflavins supplement?
I think the biggest pro is you don't have to worry about it cooling down. You don't have to worry about it burning your mouth. And you don't have to worry about the caffeine sensitivity issue because you can take it without having to take in the caffeine, get the benefits of it, and be able to go from there. We do know that it can have some interactions out there with other medications, so you've got to be somewhat careful with that. But if you understand those and you're taking caution as you're going out, you should be totally fine.
Yeah. Okay. Just to touch on one of the other ways, one of the other things that you mentioned of getting theaflavins through the foods that you eat. With certain foods, particularly tea, when you combine maybe some other ingredients like vitamin C, they can actually enhance the health benefits of theaflavins. Can you explain that and break that down a little bit?
Vitamin C seems to allow not just theaflavins, but a lot of other ingredients as well, like quercetin and luteolin. It allows those substances to be absorbed better, and it seems to have a strong synergistic effect with a ton of different things. So vitamin C is great to take with just about anything, but in this case specifically theaflavins, because it helps with the absorption and it helps just kind of compound those effects.
Yeah. Now, you're the expert, but if I'm not mistaken, these are called polyphenols?
Yes.
Okay, and so can you explain, I know you've explained to me before, what this does on a kind of a cellular level to allow these vitamins like vitamin C or vitamin D to actually get into the cells so that people can actually reap the full benefits? Because I think I've thought before, all I need to prevent illness and boost my immunity is just vitamin C. But sometimes taking those vitamins alone without something to actually act and help that ingredient or help that vitamin be transported where it needs to go is not as effective.
That's true, and I think some of the best ways to describe it are it's kind of like a bus and a passenger. So the vitamin C and those vitamins oftentimes need some mechanism to get inside the cells or get transported to where they're going, and these polyphenols can oftentimes act like that bus. You get vitamin C on board, and having them work together allows it to get to where we need to go within the body.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that piece. As far as potential side effects and considerations with theaflavins, I know you mentioned that people need to be careful about maybe some other medications that they're taking where they might not want to take such a concentrated dose of theaflavins like our supplement. Are there any other considerations that someone should take before consuming theaflavins?
I mean, the biggest one obviously is what you just mentioned, that caffeine sensitivity. So if you're getting your theaflavins through black tea, then you need to be very, very careful, because if you've got blood pressure issues, cardiovascular issues, or you're not getting good sleep, then obviously avoid the caffeine. And then I think from a supplement standpoint, just make sure that it's a clean supplement, that it's a theaflavin without the caffeine in there, and that it's caffeine free, and you should be pretty good to go.
Yeah. So just to quickly recap, the benefits that you could reap from theaflavins include antioxidant protection, heart health, weight management, cognitive support, and anti-inflammatory effects. You can consume theaflavins through drinking black tea or through supplementation, depending on your preferred method. Troy, do you have any other final tips or insights to give people when it comes to theaflavins before we sign off?
I don't think so. I think just go out, see if it fits what you need and what your body's longing for, and the medical desires that you have, and then jump on it if you need it.
Sounds great. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Frontline Health podcast by Centurion. As always, we encourage you to go out and take ownership of your health today, because you are your best health advocate. Until next time. If you enjoyed what you heard today on the podcast, please consider subscribing and leaving us a review. We would love to hear your comments or questions about anything we've talked about on the show. For more health news, tips, and insights, follow us at Centurion Health on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. And for safe, effective, and affordable healthcare products made in the USA to help you elevate your health and life, visit Centurion.health. We look forward to you joining us next time on the Frontline Health podcast by Centurion.